Hello, I'm Linda Cavanaugh, together with music director of the Oklahoma City Philharmonic, Joel Levine. Now, in our continuing discussion about the concerts of the Philharmonic for this season, tonight, I tell you what, we've reached a provocative moment. This program is titled Progressive Madness. Now, this must have been something that was difficult for you to come up with.
Actually, this was my favorite
Was
title.
it?
Yeah,
Madness?
I'm surprised that the powers that be in the office allowed me to go forward with the title Progressive Madness, but it's kind of fun because the three composers are crazy in their own way. Rossini, the first composer, he was lazy. Very lazy man. He wrote lots of operas, and they're great ones, but he didn't like to write the overtures. And the people that paid him to write these, they needed an overture out of him. So they used to lock him in a room. They literally,
sounds like my mother.
They would lock him in a room, and all he had was a pen and paper. And they would occasionally send in some food, and his instructions were to throw the pages out the window. They wouldn't even unlock the door. Throw the pages out the window, and below was someone waiting to catch them and copy them out for the musicians. So that's how all of these overtures were written. And Rossini overtures are great. I mean, audiences love to hear them, orchestras like to play them, but because of this kind of sloppy way of writing them, it's always a trick to play a Rossini overture, because sometimes he would write another version, and it's like, well, which one did he really mean? So it's just a mess with Rossini.
And you had to make sure you got them in the right order as they flew out the window, huh?
Oh, absolutely, yes. He was a little nutty.
Now, we had also some folks who were really, in their own way and in their own sense, Elvis stars for that time period.
Yes. You're probably talking about Franz Liszt,
Yes.
whose second piano concerto is going to be played by one of our great local pianists, Valery Kuleshov. Valery won, actually he isn't so much local, he's a Russian pianist who happens to have taken up residence here in Oklahoma City, and he's a favorite here. He's going to play a piano concerto by Franz Liszt, who in his time was the Elvis of his time. Ladies would faint at his concerts. I mean, he deliberately left a cigar on the piano at the edge when he left the stage, and girls would rush up to grab the cigar. Oh yeah, he was crazy. He did all kinds of tricks. And
so he was a performer as
he
well.
was,
He
yes.
knew how to grab that audience.
He was. He had the hair, he had the mannerisms, he played to the audience, and he wrote music accordingly. I mean, his music is wild and crazy. So there's a kind of madness to Franz Liszt, a method to his madness, one could say. But yeah.
And then the third one also, it's got more political overtones.
Well, this is music by Dmitri Shostakovich, and we're talking about his Fifth Symphony. Shostakovich, someone once said, every picture ever taken of him, and there are a lot of pictures of Shostakovich, it looks like he's about to undergo root canal. I know.
Happy guy.
He really was grim, and I was in St. Petersburg recently, and there's a picture of me standing next to a poster of Shostakovich, and in fact, he looks pretty grim. This is the reason. He never knew when he wrote a piece, he never knew whether the next morning after the premiere, he was going to read in the paper, this is in the Soviet era, he never knew whether it would be hailed as a masterpiece or denounced, and he would be hauled off to the Gulag. And that is the terror that this man lived under. And he wrote this Fifth Symphony hoping for the best, and it was hailed as a masterpiece. But buried inside of it, you can tell that this was a man who was writing about what it was like to be in the Soviet experience.
Fueled by fear.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we think, and this is widely debated among the people that do this work, and you can approach it from different ways. Is it a work about triumph? Is it real triumph, or is it hollow? Is there an emptiness inside of it? And you can play it either way, and it is played either way.
Well, I can't wait to hear this particular performance. In a place where you might least expect madness, you might just find that and more in this particular performance. Join the Philharmonic for its evening titled Progressive Madness. That's going to be Saturday, April 9th, 8 p.m. at the Civic Center Music Hall. Our Philharmonic is made up of some very talented people. Their dedications tested in the final program of this concert season. Find out more in our next segment. Stay with us.